Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This is the 6th of February's update coming from the Ukrainian armed forces, and this is an update of the situation on the front. These guys in Ukraine do it two times. They do it once in the morning, an update, whatever happened overnight, and they do it at the end of the day, what happened during the day. So I got to learn this by looking at the time whenever they posted and whatever they reported. So this is the daytime, report coming from the Ukrainians. So whatever happened the entire day, they made a summary, and I will read it for you, coming from obviously a Ukrainian source, which is Ukrinform. Now this article comes from, it's right here, it's from 7th of February 2023 at 5:38 GMT. So this is actually from tomorrow. Again, I brought you in the future. It's from MENA FN, but actually it's from Ukrinform right here. War update. Ukrainian Air Forces launch 11 strikes on enemy targets. In the past 24 hours, Ukrainian Air Forces have launched 11 strikes on enemy targets, including 2 strikes on Russia's air defense missile system positions. The relevant statement was made by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of the Ukraine on Facebook, an Ukrinform correspondent reports. In addition, Ukraine's missile and artillery units hit 2 enemy personnel clusters. According to the General Staff, over the past day, Russian troops have launched 5 missile strikes and 12 airstrikes and opened fire with multiple launch rocket systems MLRS 36 times. In particular, the enemy struck civilian objects in Hola, Pristan, and Kherson. Russian projectiles caused damage to residential houses, resulting in casualties among civilians. Question: have the Russians hit any military infrastructure? Any military personnel? Answer: beep. No. Okay, thank you. The threat of Russian air and missile strikes is persisting all over Ukraine. In Volyn, Polisia, Siversky, and Slobozansky directions, the situation remained unchanged. According to General Staff, no enemy offensive groupings were detected. Russian invaders opened fire on the Sumy region, Popivka and Oleksandrivka, and in Kharkiv regions Strilecha, Khliboke, Kresne, Hachichne, Vovchansk, and Dvorichna. Now, Sumy is in the northeast region, oblast of Ukraine. In the Kupiansk direction, Russian troops shelled the Kharkiv regions, Ivanivka, Kucherivka, Kilsva, I think it's Kilsliva, oh my god, and Kotliriva, and the Luhansk regions Novoselivske and Stelmakivka. Stemalkivka, probably that's how you pronounce it, I don't know. In the Liman direction, this is where the Russians conduct offensive operations. Let's see if these guys are going to report it. Russian occupiers struck the Donetsk regions Terny and the Luhansk regions Plochanka, Chervonopopivka, Kremina, and Dibrova. Now, Kremina used to be a place where the Russians were a little bit, according to the Ukrainians, in a precarious situation about 2 to 3 weeks ago, I think it was. In the Bakhmut direction. Now that is another offensive. From whatever happened in the morning, I don't know, these guys don't say anything about any offensive operations. I covered this on another article where the Ukrainians, they reported that the Russians conduct 5 offensive operations in Liman, Bakhmut, let's see if they mention them, Avdiivka, Novopavlivka, and Zaporozhye. And then they said, well, just a second, we got 3 more in Luhansk. And they used 3 more, so that's 8. Anyway, let's see what these guys say. In the Bakhmut direction, the enemy used tanks mortars and artillery to open fire in Spirnia, Berostove, Bilohorivka, Krasna Hora, Bakhmut, Klishchivka, Kurdyumivka, oh my god, and Ozaryanivka. In the Avdiivka direction, Russian troops shelled Avdiivka, okay, and about 7 other settlements. In the Novopavlivka, I don't know, direction, Russian invaders struck the Donetsk regions, Vuhledar, Preshchivka, Zolota Niva, and Neskuchnya. Now in Vuhledar again, the Russians had the initiative over there, and they said they are about to encircle it. I didn't hear anything else coming from Vuhledar. In the Zaporozhye direction, Russian occupiers used mortars, cannon, and rocket artillery to attack over 15 settlements, including the Zaporozhye regions and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the Dnipropetrovsk regions, Velikomikailivka. All right, now I'm going to take a shower after this. Sweating here with all this. In the Kherson direction, the enemy launched mortar and artillery strikes near 12 settlements, namely the Kherson region's Hola Pristan, Zolota Balka, Kachkarivka. I thought it was Kamchatka, but this is Kachkarivka, and another 2, and the city of Kherson. According to the available data, Russia continues forcible passportization efforts with the temporarily occupied areas. In the Luhansk region, Kremina, those who work for the pseudo-state enterprises of the so-called LPR and are not in a queue to obtain a Russian passport have their wages cut by 30%. In the temporarily occupied areas of the Kherson region, Russian invaders are intensifying filtration measures. Russia's FSB officers arrive in Novotroitske to check pro-Ukrainian civilians. In order to replenish personnel losses, in addition to mobilization, Russians are conducting a propaganda and agitation campaign among the youth. In particular, cadet classes with enhanced military training are established in school in the Kherson region's Skadovsk district. Russian occupiers promise that the graduates will be given benefits when entering contract military service, namely will be appointed to sergeant positions. All right, so it seems like the Russians are getting ready their next generation, but I personally I'm a very much of an admirer of Sparta and of their way of training their youth and adults. I know there will be physical abuse, obviously, and other stuff, mental abuse and all that, tralala. But hey, Sparta survived over there as it survived. I don't want to say survived because it really enslaved everybody around them by training themselves like that. So I'm not promoting that, but if you look at the ancient Greeks, they always had, they trained, and then you have the Romans with a healthy mind in healthy body. So I know it's not only me saying that, but medicine proves that you have to do some physical exercise. In this case, I think you have to train to be ready to defend your country, be it Russia, be it Romania, be it United States of America. We had here in the United States Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. That was a good thing. It was not the same thing, but it still helped children, youth be organized, disciplined, the sense of community, work together, and all that. They were instilled with that. Nowadays, I think that was a little push to get it out, especially the Boy Scout, because it was not inclusive. But anyway, the Russians are doing their ugly thing over there, and we're doing our wonderful thing here. So we'll see which which side will get better results, you know. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.